Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another exciting episode of Into the Elements, a D&D 5th edition role-play game that all of us here at the Nerdy Niche like to put on for you guys every so often, I guess, at this point. And we're not going to have Adam here with us, who plays Ettenbroar tonight. He is currently doing a disc golf tournament in honor of his dog who just passed away.
Playing sports like a weirdo.
Yeah, but for a good reason. And so our friend Jeremy here will be running Ettenbroar tonight, as well as playing Pal as usual. So we'll start getting back into it, and I believe Abe has a special little recap for us, and we just lost Chris.
Oh no.
That's okay, we've got a white cat here.
Is Chris a white cat?
Yes.
He is a
He
tabaxi.
probably would be, yeah.
Yeah, fair.
You want to pause until we get him back?
Yeah, we can do that.
We got Mochi instead.
And
There
he's
he is.
back.
And we're back.
I have no idea what happened.
Worst timing for that.
I don't know where I went.
Again!
So, Abe, if you don't mind doing your recap for what happened last time.
Alrighty. After much deliberation, I took upon a group of henchmen for a bargain basement price. They have proven mostly idiotic, but sometimes useful. In this last foray, we were split into two groups. My cunning and ability to understand the maze managed to bring myself and two of the hired help to safety. By some means, the others managed to reach the same point as us, but they arrived much worse for wear, bloodied and, well, nearly defeated. Allied again with my impetuous and often dim-witted servants, we were suddenly set upon by a small group of evildoers and ne'er-do-wells. With my nimble reflexes, I managed to conceal myself while acting as a general toward my hired help, lending instruction and direction so that they may survive the onslaught. The battle was hard fought, but the recently uncaged stray cat with a bow seemed to be on mark more often than not. The plump one that gorges on pastries and speaks in gibberish seemed almost competent with the use of his hammer. And despite an inability to avoid any attacks whatsoever, the Goliath did eventually manage to aid us. I have also become convinced that the magic user, or hag, or what pray tell she is merely nothing more than a method actor playing a role. She has made a friend out of this wispy fey dragon thing, but I think she's just using it to sell the character for some play or some future performance. For all her conjuring seems to produce little to no effect, so I'll keep an eye on her. The oversized, tone-deaf turtle, on the other hand, surprised me, as she actually seemed to have some martial prowess. She held fast and defeated almost single-handedly the leader of the group, and I was gaining a great respect for her. That is, right until she ran across the room and bit someone's nose off. This seemed to run contrary to her skills and training. If I am to remain in their company, it may be wise to have her cleansed, as it seems she may in fact be rabid. In the end, I smote my foes to the ground in fire and shadow, to which there is no return. Deftly I took from the corpse of the headman a scimitar and a staff, as well as a small amount of coin. I am considering giving this staff to the actress, as staves are unwieldy and pointless weapons, and since she is cosplaying, it would fit. The scimitar is an interesting, but again, not really my style and of little value. If a shiny toy will convince one of them to charge headlong into a trap we're sure to encounter, then I will use them for that. And that leaves us in a room with two statues, a trick of fire, and hopefully the mirror I seek is nearby. If I spend much longer with these people, I may lose patience. All the blathering and buffoonery, the sickly pandering of friendship and mission is galling at best and vomitous at minimum. Granted, if I find my mirror, I may be able to leave this horrible plane once and for all, and finally free myself from this forsaken strike force.
Well, thank you, Abe, for that 100% accurate and very kind recap there.
It's beautiful. I was crying. Beautiful.
And now I think it's time to test our way back into the elements.
Yay.
Okay, so
Theme song.
leaving off there, you have two of the two of the braziers fully lit. One that that was seemingly the wrong torch. And there are a few dead cultist bodies around now. You had checked the kind of rated the leader's body. Somebody who Hall knows very well from his time undercover. And what would you like to do?
So we still have to light one more. Is that what the sort of deal is?
So there were
Six of them,
There's
right?
6 total.
There were 6 total. 2 were lit. So on one side of the room, there are torches that are like a purplish blue. And on the other side, it's just the normal kind of color of fire. And there are statues in the center. There are 6 total figures. There's 2 statues, but each of them have 3 figures on them facing in different directions. So they're all seemingly, you had figured out last time that they do seem like they are all facing one of the braziers. And they're depictions of gods. And
So
and the door at the back as well, that has the mural of all the gods and everything. Symbols have kind of started lighting up in the colors of the correct braziers.
Is there writing on the door or just the symbols?
Just kind of the symbols. They're just kind of like god symbols.
Okay. Oh, like the ones we saw in the room?
Yeah, some of them are.
And then I believe the middle one on the side I was on, I think I had looked at that god and identified it, but I can't remember because I had lit the first one and then went to the second one and was looking at the god that was looking at it.
Yeah, if I remember right, the second one that you had noticed, it was the symbol of Tempest, which Ettenbrohr has on his body.
Oh, okay.
And Pal recognized his great granddaddy, right?
Yes.
If I remember right, that one was looking at the one that exploded it.
Yes, it was actually.
Not that Hal actually noticed that, but
great grandpa can have a temper sometimes, Sorry. Usually he's pretty chill, but sometimes, just bottles it up. He bottles it all up.
Well, it seems
Until it
like
explodes.
if we've been on paths that have been talking about, light aligned gods and dark aligned gods, and we've got these torches to match, we might want to just match those up with the correct god. Not that we were very good at that last time.
since I'm just gonna wander over to the one I had already identified and grab one of the regular torches next to it and try to light it.
Okay. You take it over, put the torch in. There's just kind of a pause before it lights, and then the flame goes up, and it is correct. Another symbol lights on the door, and you hear a kind of gear click.
Anyone who knows the gods, it looks like the good ones are the regular flame, and the bad ones, I guess, would be the other flame.
Okay. Well, I mean, obviously, I would know which pillar is for my grandpa.
Yes.
So that one, the one that we had light for him, didn't light correctly.
Yes, because it was the one that when people started coming in the room, Abe just ran over and just lit
Oh,
the
that's
other
not
one.
right. Okay. Well,
That did not happen.
why would you be so quick to do something, bro? Like, take some time to consider a situation.
I had no choice. I got fireballed by one of those guys that came in the room, and I'm quite wounded. Thank you.
So I will go and light my grandfather's one.
Okay.
With the correct flame.
Okay. So now same kind of thing happens. There's a slow set in, and then the flame comes up, and it's correct. So now, if you're facing into the room, like if you had just walked into the room, to kind of help explain this, there is the brazier on your left is lit up like the normal fire. The one on, oh wait, no, I said left. That was on the, I just messed myself up. On the left, it is the purplish blue fire. On the right, it is the normal fire. And then in the second set, they're both normal fire. And then there's two more.
Okay. So have we already lit the one that Edinburgh his god is?
That was the one I lit.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
And so all the ones from the first statue are lit, and then the one facing the entrance of the room on the second set of statues was your great grandfather.
So we have 3 out of 6 now.
You have 4 out of 6.
4 out of 6. So do we know what the other 2 symbols are?
We'd have to go look at the statues.
Yep.
Yeah, let's go take a look at them.
Okay.
Both Edinburgh and I will go look at the same one.
Okay.
That way we can just roll with advantage.
Yeah.
I'll go look at the other one.
I will too. See if I can recognize the if any of the symbols are the same as the ones that we like fucked up on in the jumping room.
Okay.
Abe's gonna go stand behind the statue furthest away.
Perfect.
Edinburgh and I are both definitely really religious characters and all, but I think his religion is probably going to be better than mine.
I think it is.
Yeah, it's better than mine.
Okay, so coming over here, looking at Pal and Edinburgh, what side did you go? Would you have gone left or right?
Let's go right.
Right. Okay. So on this one, there's a humanoid figure that's kind of more like massive and has this kind of has their arm like up over their head with this whip-like structure over, and the symbol on it is like a 9-tailed like whip. And you can give me a religion check.
Yep. Religion check coming up. With his religion, that is a 17.
Is that what?
17?
17?
Yes.
It sounded like you said 70.
That's also what I heard.
No, with advantage, I rolled a 14. With his +3 is 17.
Okay. So this is definitely the god, the dark god, Laviatar. And yeah, you know it's one of the more like betrayer style god.
Okay. Well, we know this one's a bad dude, so we light it with the other kind of flame.
Okay. So I assume Pal walks over, grabs that, and
Yeah.
puts it in the brazier. There's that pause, and then flame goes up and lights it. And then Thule, who was looking with you?
Sonora.
Sonora. You see this figure of a woman that's standing very tall with spider-like appendages kind of coming out and around.
Sounds like a hot chick.
Give me a religion check, both of you. Sonora with advantage. And I'll explain why in a minute.
4.
Or you have no idea who this is.
I just have a hunch spiders are not fun.
I got 22 on both rolls.
Nice. You are very confident
Damn.
because you just spent some time in a room with the symbol that was on here all over the room in a sphere full of spiders. That this is, in fact,
Your ability to recall what happened 5 minutes ago is fantastic.
yes. Sorry, I lost the name. Give me 1 second.
Wolf?
Yes, thank you, Lolth. Who is the spider queen and also known as one of the main deities to the Drow, and is generally considered as a dark or evil deity.
I will communicate that to Thule.
Yeah, it doesn't sound nice. I'm gonna go get one of the dark torches for this one.
Okay. Take it over, put it in, there's the pause, and then all of the flames rise larger, really lighting up the room. It kind of makes you all cover your eyes a little bit, and then you hear a series of like locks kind of unlocking and the loud sound of a door shifting as the vault is unlocked.
So the door didn't open, it just, you could hear it unlock basically.
And then open. The was the open.
Good Foley.
Excellent sounds, by the way. The sound effects just
Well, thank you.
Amazing.
Yeah, I know. I'm just dead on.
you need to be a professional voice actor, but your specialty just needs to be doors opening.
Yeah, sound doors opening and monster sounds. Just like the guy in like all those like Police Academy movies.
Police Academy, Spaceballs, yeah. Anyway, I'll just go ahead into the vault there without any sort of regard to any jobs.
Okay. Perfect.
I'll just be like, hell yeah, dude, let's check out some stuff.
Okay. So you walk up, and there is a little bit of a staircase to go up to where the door was. And it's circular opening here. And then I'll kind of explain the room. A path made of stone stretches out before you into a large room. The path leads onto an island surrounded by water. The room is magically lit up. allowing you to see water running down the walls. The island is filled with pedestals with various items. There are small barrels filled with coins. There is a large standing mirror in view, and at the back of the island is another path leading to a waterfall at the back of the room.
Sweet waterfall, guys. Come check it out.
Hall cautiously follows behind Pal in case something happens.
I'll move in quite abruptly now.
Okay. Perfect. So you just kind of push past Pal and just keep going?
Yeah, basically.
Pal, real quick, give me a dex save as Abe just kind of like pushes past you with no regard.
I mean, a dex save. I really feel like that should be.
It's not a high DC, but just in case.
Okay, let's see. Oh, not a high roll though. 7.
7. Okay. So you, Abe pushes by you, and you start to fall, and you kind of whoa, and you see this pool in front of you, and you kind of like stable back, and you don't quite fall in, but you almost lost footing.
When I notice that, I'll just be like, "Oh, sorry about that."
I mean, it's not like you didn't see me, bro. Look at me.
I was looking at the waterfall that you pointed out. It's
All
beautiful.
right, fair. It's pretty sweet. It's distracting, I guess.
Yeah.
Perfect.
So does Abe recognize the mirror right away, or?
I would say give me a history check. History or Arcana, I'll let you choose.
8.
8. It looks to be a mirror. You're not 100% sure, though. You need to get closer.
Okay. At that point, since I'm ahead of everybody, I'm going to kind of stop, like turn and put my hand up and be like, hold on. I remember reading the runes in the Colosseum. It sounds like everybody's going to be able to get maybe one thing. So nobody grab anything just yet, because this could be potentially fatal if somebody just starts grabbing stuff. So we have to think carefully. And before you do that, I want to give all of you the option of some magical, probably extremely powerful items so that you will make better decisions. And at that point, on the little path everybody's walking, I'm going to put down a hand and a crooked staff and a fancy rapier with minor runes engraved and an intricate mask. And then I'm going to cast Distort Value on the rapier.
What does Distort Value do, Levi?
It doubles the value of it. It makes it seem like it's twice as more. You can make it either half or twice as much. So it seems extremely valuable now.
So is that the rapier?
And then they have if they look at it closely, they can do a DC. It's an intelligence save against my spell save. So it would be a 15.
Okay.
If they investigate it.
Is that the rapier? And just
all of that was the stuff that I picked up off the guy in the other room.
Okay. And just to clarify, the hand and the staff are one and the same.
Yeah.
Is it the guy's hand? Just like around it still?
Probably.
No, the top of the staff has a hand on it. Okay, so putting those things down, did anybody want to look at those?
I would like to look at the mask, please.
Okay.
And while they're all like exploring this, I want to get close to the mirror and look at it. So this is my distraction technique.
Okay. So you set both those, or all three of those things down. So Nora goes over to look at the mask.
I was going to look at what was on the pedestals because none of that would have been intriguing to me. I've seen it all quite often.
Fair.
I mean, I want to see what the this hand thing is about, but like not actually that I want it, but like, is it a severed hand? Is it like a paper mache?
No,
hand?
it's a staff. So it's a staff with a wooden hand carved into it.
Okay, well that's what I was wondering. So it's a wooden hand.
Yes.
Okay, he doesn't have like a zombie hand attached to this thing. That would be kind of cool. I mean,
That's what I was picturing.
Here. It looks like this. I guess it's a golden hand. It's a golden hand. I'm sorry.
I see. I almost want that just to give it high fives.
I would love to see Pal give that thing a high five. See what happens.
So value means very little to me, so I'm not going to be super interested in it. But
Okay. Are
high
you going
five
to look
actually
at
would
the
cost
sword
me.
at all? There's a rapier that's sitting there as well.
I can use
That's-
rapiers.
that's
Do
what
you
I
think I'm
cast
going to
the
use
spell
finesse
on.
weapons?
You can use a finesse weapon.
Ah.
A thing with a finesse weapon is that you can either use it as strength or you can use it as dexterity.
Yeah, fair. I have access though.
Yeah. Are you just going to walk past the sword, or?
I'm going to stand there for a while, contemplating the idea of giving the staff a high five.
Perfect.
Before I move on.
Would Ettenbroar care
So I
about
think-
the sword?
So is he more? He's still strength based, correct? Looking at the sheet. I mean, he would probably take a look at the rapier.
Okay. So for that, have Ettenbroar give an Arcana check. Just an Arcana check to see, because it does appear to be a magical rapier.
Right. Let me pull up.
It has runes carved in, and kind of
Three.
after that spell being cast that you don't know was cast,
Yeah.
it looks very magical.
So he rolled a 3 on Arcana.
Nice.
To Ettenbroar, this has to be an incredibly powerful magical rapier. And he doesn't know exactly what it does, but it's something good.
He would probably say to Abe, "What can you tell me about this rapier? What does it do exactly?"
Abe's like walked off over to the mirror, so he's not interested in what they're doing.
I feel like he would yell that over to you, though. He'd just like
All right.
look up and be like, "What is this?"
what does this do?
Abe will just kind of look over his shoulders. He's walking away and say, "I believe that is the fabled sword of the lake that some woman carved for a king, and it was blessed by the gods. And I think the runes say something about he who wields it shall never fear death. I don't know." And then I'll keep walking.
So
I think Edinburgh would probably like. Seems a little far fetched. I think I'm going to keep looking around.
you don't think you'd pick it up?
I think I mean, at least in my interpretation of him, he's a little bit more cautious. I don't think he's ever been known to just pick shit up.
He has always trusted Abe.
This is
True.
true. And it wasn't just an item in the room. Abe pulled it out and set it down.
Yeah. Let's so I don't want to make a terrible decision for his character, so we're going to leave this to a die roll.
Jeremy, so that you feel better, it is not cursed. He's just,
Okay.
if he picks it up, he's
Yeah,
not gonna do
it's what the guy in the last room was wielding. So
Oh, okay. So he rolled a 13, so I think he's going to try to be a little bit more cautious and walk around for a minute. That's definitely something he's interested in, but I don't think he's going to make a rash decision.
Okay, because this won't count as his item.
All right, fair enough. Yeah, then he'd pick it up.
Yeah.
If that was...
Sorry, I just think you were way overthinking that because you don't want to screw anything
Yeah,
up.
I don't want to pick it up and have him
Yeah, I get it.
like have to take it or something.
Yeah, no, you're fine.
I'm having to make a big decision for someone else. So
I get it. Yep. Which is why I explained more with that.
yeah.
Okay, so that kind of distracts there. I'll get to you in a second, Sonora. One kind of point is as soon as the first person steps foot on the island, which I assume would be Abe at this point, you all hear a voice kind of seemingly in your head that is a very like soft, almost angelic sounding voice. And all it says is, "Your legend has been told. Which prize will you hold?"
So you said there were items on pedestals around the area?
Yep. There's some that are on the ground. There's some that, just kind of standing. There's all kinds of different things. I'll get to that description more in a second, just since Sonora was looking at the mask. So the mask, it's silver, and it is just kind of like, think of like one of those old like kind of Greek like golden like masks, but it's silver and it's etched with vines coming down, almost like draping the face, and they're thorned vines, made in silver as well. It's the mask that the guy that you fought was wearing when you first came in the room.
I guess I will pick it up to more closely inspect it.
Okay. You can give me either a history or arcana check. And then Thule, what were you doing? Were you looking at the staff?
I don't know if I would have been like inspecting it, since Abe just kind of took it from the dead guy and put it down in front of us. But I mean, I'm not going to leave it there. It
Okay.
seems silly to just leave it there.
Hey, to be fair, I did slide a hand all that, so nobody saw me pick all that stuff up. So unless they noticed it during the fight.
Well, you still took it out.
Yes.
No, I thought she was standing right behind you watching it.
Oh yeah, I was.
The rest of us were completely
Oh, that's right. That's
but
right.
she was right behind you.
And I believe she's the one that got hit by the staff too. Weren't you the one that got hit by the staff? The necrotic like energy?
Maybe.
Okay. Fair enough. I don't
She
remember
was,
either.
because I remember having to heal her for a lot of damage.
Oh yeah.
See, this is why I never did the intros before, because now nobody trusts anything I do.
Fair.
So I won't just leave it there. I'll pick it up and like bring it with us. But
Okay. When she picks it up, pal, are you going to try to high five it?
Mm.
Well, now it's waving in front of you, literally.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna try to high five it. I'm not gonna lie.
For this, give me an Arcana check.
I'm real good at those. Are you sure you want to ruin it with that? Let's see. Yeah. 2.
Okay, so I'm gonna say this activates a little bit of the magic from it as you kind of like slap the hand. And Thule, as you're holding this, he almost accidentally slaps it out of your hand. And right when this happens, you feel like a little bit of vibration move through it, and you see the hand at the end kind of glow like a blackish green for like a split second, and see here. So, pal, you take 5 necrotic damage.
2 necrotic damage. I have necrotic resistance.
Oh yeah, yep. I thought you were just trying to like convince me to give you 2.
It's only 2 damage.
I'm an angel, yo. It's 2 damage.
Yeah.
I'll just go, ow. That
Why
wasn't a
did
cool high five at all.
No. Let's not do that again.
I think
Hey,
that's
this
the
high
best-
five stick you left sucks.
I think the best part of that is just Tuli's reaction. Why would you do that?
It's not a
Julie,
good hand, it's a bad hand.
I need a good high five now. Come on.
Okay.
Come on. Bring it in. Bring it in. Yeah. There you go.
Both of you give me a dex check. I want to see how good this high five is with how much setup there was for it.
I'm looking at his elbow. Do I get an advantage?
Yes, you do.
Hell yeah. Oh, not good either way. Seven.
I kind of made up for it. It's the best dex roll I've probably ever had. And the 16.
Okay. So as the high five's going to happen, you're almost off, and Pal corrects it just enough, but he adds a little bit of force to it. So you do the like, ow, and it's like an echoing kind of like high five.
Let's hope there's nothing that wants to kill us in this room.
Okay. Now back to the island.
I got a 12 on my history check for the
Okay.
mask.
For history. So this mask, the only things that you've heard about like this type of mask or anything like that, you've recently started doing some like research on the children of the elements. And these masks are represented as the faithful children masks. So they're the leaders. It's to signify rank, and they very rarely show their faces to anyone else. It's part of that kind of like blind faith behind them that you just trust in the message.
That could be useful.
Potentially, yeah. And you have another mask to your collection.
She's going to become the happy mask salesman.
Member of the Faceless.
So after Tuli and I have done our thing, I want to go up and start looking for big weapons.
Okay.
Big battle axes, broadswords, like.
Okay. So, kind of looking over everything as you were all starting to come onto the island. It's just like a natural stone kind of island here, and then there are pedestals kind of just like thrown in between. Like there's not a ton of like rhyme or reason to them. There's just kind of spaces for everything. And there are some barrels that just seem to have coin in them. None of the coin is just on the ground. Like it's all in a barrel, kind of signifying that maybe like if you took a barrel, that could be your item. And then there are like different weapons. Some are like, there's like weapon racks around. There are also suits of armor, shields displayed. Some are like resting kind of on the ground against a pedestal. There's an area with like rings and jewelry on it. There's a pedestal that has a bunch of different stones on it with a glass case in the center with like a bigger stone that seems to almost be moving in it. And there is a mirror. It is half of a mirror. And it's odd, Abe, when you walk over because it's a standing mirror. Kind of like the kind that you could spin and everything like that, but it's like perfectly cut in half. And like the mirror itself is cut in half, and it has this like the frame and the stand of it are, it's weird because it's part of it is made of wood, but there's stone, there's crystals, there's different things kind of combined into this frame and stand. And it looks like the way the stand is without the other half of the mirror there, it looks like it should have tipped over, but it is standing on its own accord.
Well, Abe's excited, so he's going to run up and immediately grab the side of it and cast Identify. And he's...
Okay. So point to this. As soon as you touch it, you don't need to cast Identify. There's something about this room that the second you touch it, it's as though you cast the Identify spell. And let me, I meant to write down that name again. Talked about this before. I have lost it in my notes. This is the mirror that you were looking for. I just have lost the name of it in my notes.
This is the droid you were looking for.
Huh?
I said this is the droid you were looking for.
It's all right. It's a legendary mirror that I don't need anyone else to know what it is.
Yeah.
I know what it is.
Did I ever give it a name?
No.
Okay. That's, yeah, I was like, I thought I gave it a name, but I guess I didn't.
So name it Petunia.
Good names.
So it would be the Mirror of Planes, is what it would be. It is specifically half of the Mirror of Planes. And when you walk up and when you look at the reflection of it, depending on where you're standing looking into it, it seems to shift. So like when you first look into it, the background kind of like you see yourself, but everything behind you has changed. So, in the reflection. So when that first glance that you look at, there are massive, beautiful trees and fairy-like lights kind of flickering behind you. And then you kind of shift over a little bit and everything behind you is now dark and craggy and overcast, and there's dead trees and everything. And kind of glancing, then it seems like you're in the sky and there's floating islands around. And at one glance, you're underwater. Like it's all different. It's like you're in different planes from just looking into this reflection. And you are sure that this is at least half of the mirror that you have been looking for.
Okay. Well, I know what I'm going to do. So if you want to go to everybody else, that's
Perfect. Okay. So to make this a little easier, there is a bunch of different things around. I have prepared a stack of items So kind of tell me what you're looking for, and and we lost Chris again.
Ah!
So we'll come back to him in a minute. So essentially, tell me the things that you would kind of be more looking towards, and then I'll start kind of telling you what some of the items might be.
Big weapon.
And I also want to clarify that you guys do remember why you were here as well, right?
That's not my job.
Fair.
I'll look for what we're looking for.
So, Sarah, you are drawn over to the table with the stones on it.
The one in the thing with the moving.
Yes. So the
Yeah.
one in the like glass case, it looks very much like a hourglass case, but it doesn't have that kind of triangular point in the middle. It's just a cylinder, but it has like the wooden parts on the sides and then top and bottom. And you've seen a case exactly like this before. The one you had seen before had shifting rocks in it. And this one, it has tiny little pebbles in it, but they're like spinning and rotating around what seems like a vortex of wind.
How fitting.
Yep.
Okay.
And then around it, there are a bunch of different crystals and stones that do appear to be like magical and everything as well.
I'll grab the.
Okay. So are you choosing that as your item?
Yep.
Okay. Pick that up. And in your head, you hear the choice has been made. And also, when you touched that, it revealed to you that it is the primal stone of air.
Okay.
It's a pretty sweet choice. That thing you just picked up, those jewels look pretty sweet.
Yeah, I think we need this though.
Always doing the right thing. You're a great asset to the team, Thule.
I'm just kind of looking at all the other stuff.
Just kind of being sad.
Edinburgh would probably just be looking around for any sort of like shields or armor, things like that.
Okay. So there, for you, pal, you were looking for like a great sword.
Yes.
Okay. There. Let's see. There are two great swords.
Okay.
And if you just touch it, it doesn't mean that you're claiming it, but it tells you
Tells you
kind
what it
of
does, yeah.
what they are.
Yeah. So I would pick up the one closest to me.
Okay, the one closest to you would be a vicious greatsword,
Mm-hmm.
which would mean when you roll a 20 on your attack roll with this magic weapon, the target takes an extra 7 damage of the weapon's type.
Kind of cool, but yeah, let's see what the other one looks like.
And then the other one is a great sword of life stealing.
Okay.
And that one is when you attack a creature with this magic weapon and roll a 20 on the attack roll, that target takes an extra 10 necrotic damage. If it isn't a construct or undead, you also gain 10 temporary hit points.
Seems kind of cool, but I don't know if my parents would be down with me like robbing other people's lives.
No.
Are there any axes?
There is an axe that looks like this, and it's a giant slayer.
Okay.
And that one is +1 bonus to attack and damage rolls made with it. And when you hit a giant with it, the giant takes an extra 2d6 damage of the weapon's type and must succeed on a DC 15 strength saving throw or fall prone. For the purposes of this weapon, giant refers to any creature with the giant type, including Ettins and trolls.
I mean, I like the idea of having +1 all the time, and then potentially being more useful.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'll just pick that up. That seems like a pretty sweet looking axe.
Okay. So you pick this up, and then in your head you you hear, the choice has been made.
Thanks, dude.
Okay. And then Ettenbroer was looking for shields and armor.
Yeah, I think that's what he would look for.
Okay. So did order these. So there are 3 shields. There is an arrow catching shield. It gives a +2 bonus to AC against ranged attacks while you wield the shield. The bonus is in addition to the shield's normal bonus to AC, so it would make it +4 against range. In addition, whenever an attacker makes a ranged attack against the target within 5 feet of you, you can use your reaction to become the target of the attack instead.
Seems pretty good.
Then there is the Spell Guard Shield, which looks like this. And while wielding the shield, you have advantage on saving throws against spells and other magical effects, and spell attacks have disadvantage against you.
Dang. I think we're going to go with that one. That one sounds pretty good.
Did you want to see the other ones?
Oh,
Or
yeah.
the other one?
More, yeah.
There is also the Animated Shield. While holding the shield, you can speak its command word as a bonus action to cause it to animate. The shield leaps into the air and hovers in your space to protect you as if you were wielding it, leaving your hands free. The shield remains animated for 1 minute until you use a bonus action to end this effect, or until you are incapacitated or die, at which point the shield falls to the ground or into your hand if you have one free. So those are the shields.
I think that the one with the spell save DC sounds great. I think let's do that one.
It's real solid.
That's a real solid one. This seems like it would help. That's what Edinburgh will say as he takes that.
That's very fitting for Edinburgh. And I don't think he would put too much time and thought into it either. He would just kind of like start looking for something and go, this is right. And then in Ettenbroer's mind, he hears the choice has been made. Okay. Sonora, what about you?
I'm going to look for things that can make me stronger or like bolster my like health or con.
Okay.
So like maybe some magic herbs.
Okay. So you don't find any magic herbs around.
I already have the magic herbs.
But a couple things to note kind of with that. So bolstering health.
Or like strength. Yeah.
Okay.
Defensiveness.
Defensiveness. Yeah.
So there are the bracers of defense. which while wearing these bracers, you get a +2 bonus to AC if you are wearing no armor and using no shield, which
Okay.
is true for you. There is also, let's see. There is a cloak that is, or it's a mantle. Mantle of spell resistance. You have advantage on saving throws against spells while wearing this cloak. It looks like that. And then, oh, I did forget to mention this too. There are books around as well. There are manuals, and there's a manual of gainful exercise, which this book describes fitness exercises, and its words are charged with magic. If you spend 48 hours over a period of 6 days or fewer studying the book's contents and practicing its guidelines, your strength score increases by 2, as does your maximum for that score. The manual then loses its magic and regains it in a century. There's also the manual of quickness of action, which is the same but for dexterity. And there's the manual of bodily health, which is the same but for constitution. So to clarify with those as well, you can go above 20 with that.
Oh.
That's a lot of choices.
Yeah, you did give me a little bit of a broad one there. Let's see.
Get strength, get swole, bro.
And I don't know how much you actually need strength per se.
Yeah.
Let me just take a quick gander. There is a Iron Stone of Protection. So these stones, like once you activate it, it will float around your head. And this gives you a +1 bonus to AC while this Dusty Rose prism orbits your head.
What was the book about? The dexterity book?
That was what those called.
Quickness. Manual of quickness.
Yeah, Manual of Quickness of Action.
Well, that seems to be my thing.
Yep, that could be really good. I honestly think probably your best bets are that or the bracers for kind of what you're looking for.
All right, I'll go with the Manual of Quickness of Action.
Okay. And there's the little picture on it. It has a little dude running. I don't know if you can see it.
And then she finds out it only has 99 years left to recharge.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's a turtle. She'll live that long.
Yeah, so just keep in mind with this, to get the benefit, you will have to study it. But yeah, good. Okay, and
Is Chris coming back?
I hope so.
He's been eaten by the cult.
We got all these cool items, but at what cost?
Oh, I wonder if I am on. Oh, yep, he's just been sitting in the.
I've been here the whole time.
Good job.
And I went right back in, and then I just sat in background the whole time.
Yeah, I had the full like view up, so I wasn't seeing what was going on in the background. But luckily, you can hear everything that's going on when you're backstage. So.
Ed just left him backstage.
The Hall of No Doors.
Yeah, and it's weird because I haven't lost internet, nothing. It just randomly kicks me out, and then I immediately sign back in, and I'm right there again.
Yeah. Well, I will keep that in mind in case you go away again to double check. But welcome back. What
Hey!
what would you be kind of looking for?
It would have been something with increasing dex or some type of bow,
Okay.
and then other than that would be like anything that would, I guess, assist with investigation or lock picking or that kind of stuff. But the bow would be the first thing I'd look for.
Okay. I just realized I don't know if I grabbed a bow. Let me just.
This huge chunk of cards, no bows.
Very well prepared.
Hey Ed, I can pull the bow from my huntress in my campaign and give it to him.
That's not allowed.
We'll just plane shift that bow to you. It only shoots 5 oversized arrows at targets.
It's
I mean-
ungodly.
I think.
I
we
assume
should
there's only
have it.
one of each of the books, right?
Yes, that is correct. But there's a couple things I can kind of go over. I'm just double checking one thing real quick. So yeah, that's why, because I think I misplaced that card. So there is one bow. It is an oath bow. And how this works, it's a long bow. When you knock an arrow on this bow, it whispers in Elvish, "Swift defeat to my enemies." When you use this weapon to make a ranged attack, you can, as a command phrase, say swift death to you who have wronged me. The target of your attack becomes your sworn enemy until it dies or until dawn 7 days later. You can have only one such sworn enemy at a time, and when your sworn enemy dies, you can choose a new one after the next dawn. When you make a ranged attack roll with this weapon against your sworn enemy, you have advantage on the roll. In addition, your target gains no benefit from cover other than total cover, and you suffer no disadvantage due to long range. If the attack hits, your sworn enemy takes an extra 3d6 piercing damage. While your sworn enemy lives, you have disadvantage on attack rolls with all other weapons. So you have to keep using the bow if you activate that, essentially. So that's obviously one option for you. There was one.
And as far as anything that does stuff with dex, 20's maxed out, correct?
Yes, unless it.
It would, yeah. So unless it's something that can go above max, I can't use it.
Yep. Okay, so. I'm sure this is very exciting to everybody watching right now, but it is an item gaining scenario.
It's okay. I just accidentally gave my cats all of the rest of the catnip.
Well, there's a party at your house.
So speaking of cats, I could just see this being funny. There's a ring of telekinesis. While wearing this ring, you can cast the telekinesis spell at will, but you can only target objects that aren't being worn or carried. So you can like throw shit around.
Useful.
And you could technically probably open doors and stuff with that.
Or correct your arrows.
I mean, potentially, yeah.
I might miss. Nope.
There's also a ring of free action. So while you wear this ring, difficult terrain doesn't cost you extra movement. In addition, magic can neither reduce your speed nor cause you to be paralyzed or restrained. There is a ring of X-ray vision, so you could see through doors before you opened them.
Oh my god, as a character, I don't know that he'd resist that one.
What was there was something in particular that I was just like, oh. There's a chime of opening that the hollow metal tube measures about 1 foot long and weighs 1 pound. You can strike it as an action, pointing it at an object within 120 feet of you that can be opened, such as door, lid, or lock. The chime issues a clear tone, and one lock or latch on the object opens unless the sound can't reach the object, or if no locks or latches remain. The object itself opens. The chime can be used 10 times. After the 10th time, it cracks and becomes useless.
Oh, there was like a reset thing then, maybe. Is there
there it was. Boots of speed. Yeah. While you wear these boots, you can use a bonus action and click the boots heels together. If you do, the boots double your walking speed, and any creature that makes an opportunity attack against you has disadvantage on their attack roll. If you click your heels together again, you end the effect. When the boots property has been used for a total of 10 minutes, the magic ceases to function until you finish a long rest.
Oh my god, I'll be all over the place.
Yeah, that was... Okay, yeah, that's probably the ones that I could see you liking the most of the objects with what you specified.
Yeah. So with the bow,
Mhm.
if I understood it correctly, once I trigger the person that I'm making my enemy,
Mhm.
if I target anybody else, does it lose effect as well?
No, it's if you use a different weapon.
Oh, okay. And then if I can only pick one person a day, basically, and unless they don't die, and then it's
Correct.
7 days.
Correct.
But it does more damage and is easier to hit. Was that?
Yeah. Do you have the sharpshooter feat?
I do.
Okay, so part of it is a little useless for you because you already have, those features where, like, you ignore half cover and quarter cover, and you can always use the full extent of it. But it adds 3D, I think it was 3d6 piercing damage
To whoever I've selected.
to whoever you've, chosen.
But it's not like a plus magic weapon where it would give
Not
bonus.
normally, no.
Okay. Man, it's tough between that and the boots. So the boots, it just lasts as long as I have it clicked?
Up to 10 minutes.
Up to 10 minutes.
And then it ceases its magical function until a long rest.
Okay. Well, knowing me, I'd go with the boots.
Okay. Oh, and there was the X-ray vision ring too, which you...
Yeah, that one was really tough too, but the X-ray vision would let me see through it, but the boots would let me get away if it was bad anyway.
Yeah, you're basically Flash now.
Yeah, because my race feature doubles it too, so double.
Yeah, it's kind of... You're welcome. It's kind of gross. Okay, so I'll send over pictures of these cards and everything to all of you guys after, and then so that was everybody has picked their item. Okay,
Everybody's doing that. Abe's going to be standing
Yes.
next to the mirror. And he's going to pull a small little circular black piece of fabric, kind of, and set it down and start unfolding it in front of the mirror. And it just keeps getting bigger and bigger. And then he's just going to kind of stop for a second, kind of nervous, and just says, "Well, that is most unfortunate."
Do the rest of us hear that? Or
yeah, you would all hear him say that.
what's up, bro?
So Abe's kind of looking down in this thing for a second, kind of scratching his head. Do you have time for a story?
I always have time for a story. He's gonna sit down cross-legged with his new axe and just like
Okay. So Abe starts kind of pulling pieces of a skeleton out of this tarp thing, and just well, years ago I used to host parties for antique dealers, for indignitaries, collectors, and such at my home. As part of my hosting duties, I would often perform small tricks, minor stuff really, but people generally expected a show, smoke and mirrors, sleight of hand tricks, minor illusions, mostly. One of those included audience participation and a table with a false top. The last time I performed it, if I remember there being a dignitary's wife who had volunteered. I can't recall her name or his, but the trick was all rather usual. It basically consists of laying the volunteer down atop a table and covering them with a sheet, a few magic words, and releasing the trapdoor on the table with my knee so the volunteer would fall into the bed of pillows whilst I pulled the sheet from the top to reveal it an empty table. Now, obviously, that was not much of a trick, and any idiot would guess the table had a false top, leaving the person under it, which is why this sparkling skirt that encompassed the lower part of the prop was so pivotal. Typically, I'd get a small laugh before I would tear the skirt from the base to reveal an empty space. Unfortunately, during this performance, I noticed a rather rude guest was in my room of curios poking Johann. Johann was a mini mimic I had purchased from a traveling sideshow some years previously. When I first got him, he was about the size of a fish tank treasure chest. By this time, about the size of a lunchbox. They swore he would remain small, but I quickly learned that that was a prevarication. He was a difficult pet, ate everything, never really warmed up to anyone, was prone to violent outbursts. So here's this gruff fellow poking at Johann, and so I was sort of rushing my act so I could attend to that issue. In any case, below the table, I had this portable hole, this thing, sort of extra dimensional space that the volunteer would fall in. While the crowd was laughing, I'd carefully fold it and slide it out under my shoe before tearing the skirt from the prop, leaving the room impressed because the false top was only the lead-up trick. Once applause died down, I would take the hole to another room and release the volunteer, usually having to calm them a bit and sometimes pay for their silence, since they had just endured an airless extraplanar space of pure darkness, I think. However, this particular occasion I was distracted with the peril of Johann. Had to escort the gentleman from the curio room and lock it. Part of the reason I stopped having these parties. I did eventually find Johann a new home with a traveling gypsy I traded with, who was on the road to Barovia, I believe. I do hope Johann is well. He was always a bit misunderstood. Anyway, the rest of the night, the husband of the woman kept hounding me about the secrets of my disappearing act. I assumed he just wanted to know how it was done, and a magician never tells. I did hear that some years later he went mad and was imprisoned. Not really sure what fate held for him, but now looking at this, I realized that I made a slight error that night and neglected to let the volunteer out. So it seems she may have suffocated and passed while in the portable hole. Most unfortunate. Well, rest in peace, fair volunteer. time to make room for my mirror. And I'll pull the rest of the skeleton out and start putting the mirror into the portable hole.
That's messed up, bro.
You haven't opened it since then?
No. I didn't realize she was. I mean, it's in the past. Doesn't really matter now. Anyway, I'll get the mirror in there and start folding it back up.
Also, you hear in the back of your mind, you have made your choice.
Yes, I have. Thank you. So I'll get all that all folded up and put it back in my pocket.
Perfect.
And I'll kind of look around the room. Well, you guys got everything you needed, right?
I always wondered how that trick was done. I never thought of like the thing having a false top. It was crazy.
Alrighty. You got your stone thingy? We're all good?
Yep.
Everybody's happy? All right. Perfect. Well, remember, you guys owe me money. You know where to find me. So I think, this is, well, he'll snap his fingers and cast invisibility. And while he's invisible, he's going to use his scroll of teleportation and go home.
Okay. So Abe says all this stuff to you and then snaps his finger and vanishes.
Abe?
I guess he's gone. I don't know.
There's silence for a moment, and then everybody give me a perception check other than Abe.
All my dice hate me today, so
Let's see.
23.
12 for Pal.
Okay.
19.
8.
And a 18 for Ember.
Okay. Abe, also give me a stealth check at advantage.
Okay. I've also left the skeleton there for them in case they want to do anything.
mhm.
Stealth check.
I mean, I'm surprised that nobody ever questioned him about someone going missing at one of his parties.
22.
22. So only Sonora catches this at all. You hear a slight muttering near the exit, a familiar voice, the familiar voice of Abe. And it's almost like a ritual or some kind of like magical words. And then you're kind of like looking around trying to see where he went, kind of like listening. And then you hear a slight and there's no more sound coming from over there other
Bye,
than
Abe.
the water.
Thank you for your assistance, I guess.
So is
Dang,
this-
that dude totally ditched us.
Yeah.
Is this normal?
Honestly, no idea.
He's a strange guy.
Okay.
So I guess we have a membership slot open now, or
You said there was an exit to the room?
Yeah.
I'm just going to kind of walk over and kind of investigate the door, see if there's...
Okay, so there is another there's another pathway very similar to the one that you walked in on, but it leads straight to a waterfall.
I think Edinburgh would come and investigate too and say, maybe it's wise that we don't linger here for too much longer.
Large person first.
Pal, if you wouldn't mind leading the way.
That was so perfect. You've actually played Ettenroar very well tonight.
Yeah, then Powell will just walk in. I don't care.
Okay, you're gonna walk through the waterfall,
Yeah.
and we'll pick up there next time on
Don't go.
Into the Elements.
Okay.
And remember, don't go chasing waterfalls.
Sorry, Julie, did I cut you off? What were you gonna?
No, I think as we're like heading towards the waterfall, I'm gonna like look at Squall and think, does he count for picking an item?
We can here
We
go
don't
back
have
a
to-
little bit. So you're gonna have Squall try to pick one up.
Yeah, man. I'm just wondering, like,
What item would you have him go for?
I mean, he'd probably go for whatever the shiniest like thing is that's like around his size to grab.
There's rings. There's a bunch of rings. There's stones.
Probably go for a ring. He probably likes rings.
There is a ring with a little. There's a ring with a jewel in it. There's actually a couple rings with jewels.
Probably one of those. They're probably sparklier.
Yeah, these are probably the sparkliest ones.
Probably the other one.
This one?
Yeah.
Okay.
You're gonna throw shit around.
Okay. So he goes to pick it up, and his claw goes right through it.
Okay. Makes sense.
Okay. And then you walk through the waterfall, and we will pick up there next time on Into the Elements.
Excellent.
Okay. Well, a little kind of random farewell to Abe, who Levi has been playing for us for a while. Obviously, he hasn't died or anything like that, so there is always a potential that Abe can come back.
We don't know that.
Yeah, you don't.
Maybe that thing you picked was a real bad idea.
I like the fact that Pal just thinks that he died from picking that item.
He fell into his own hole. He's gonna.
And then the hole fell in on itself.
Never trust a wandering salesman selling you a teacup mimic.
I don't trust anyone with a mimic.
I think a mimic sounds pretty fucking sweet, is all I'm saying.
No.
Thank you, Levi, for playing Ableton for us in this
It's fun.
campaign. And we might see you again at some point soon.
Goodbye forever, Levi.
Sorry, you're no longer my brother anymore.
I'm moving to the Shadow Realm.
Okay. Well, thank you all for joining us tonight at kind of the end of this little arc that we've been doing here on this island. I hope you've had fun with us so far in the journey. There's still a lot more to go on. And then, thanks for joining us from the crazy world that we're always kind of stuck living in. And Jeremy, if you don't mind.
Thank you for joining us here on Into the Elements. If you'd like to reach out to us, you can reach us at the Nerdy Niche on Facebook and let us know if you like the episode. Let us know how great our characters are. I know that's a lot of us are pretty great. And if you'd like to see anything else, let us know. And what a great DM Ed is. Anyway, if you'd like to reach out to us there, that'd be awesome. And thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Keep it nerdy out there.
Farewell.
Okay.
All right.